Welcome to Fallen Angels, an adventure for KULT Divinity Lost, written by Gunilla Jonsson and Petersen, the minds behind the Black Madonna and Taroticum. In this story we will get to follow the tabloid journalist Brian Cain and the graffiti artist Pide during an autumn in New York, 1992. A city of art, passion, murder, and death. This is a Patreon exclusive campaign, and if you end up liking what you hear, you can listen to the next part on Patreon right after this by backing us on the $5 level. New episodes will be released every 2 weeks. Now then, we are off to New York City. My motorcycle roared like a hungry beast through the tunnel and out into the dark New York nights. I zigzagged between the few scattered cars and was met with anxious faces and frightened eyes behind the windshields. They felt my presence, but they had no need to fear this night. I was not hunting. Something big was burning in the heart of the city tonight. The flames soared to the dark sky and gave the horizon a bright red glow. My bike shook with restrained anger as I slowly rolled through the Bronx along 3rd Avenue. Dark shapes lacking human faces hunted the streets around me. Chilling roars echoed through the burned-out buildings. A few stray human wanderers raced out into the light, away from the jaws of the hunters. The Harlem River was rolling like a living, starving darkness beneath me when I stopped at the bridge to Manhattan. I had come home. It is autumn in New York City, Friday, September the 25th, 1992. A city of death and violence. The number of murders in the city has peaked at 2,000 a year, and crime is rampant. The crack epidemic is ravaging especially the African American community, and the headlines scream about AIDS and the ozone hole. People are afraid to walk the streets at night, with the gangs not wasting any time robbing and roughing up anyone they find alone. In response, police death squads roam the streets, shooting first and asking questions later. People commute to work in the endlessly slithering network of graffitied subway carts. Cars are hot, jam-packed, and completely lawless. You might find the guy standing next to you on the train suddenly turning around to stab you and take your belongings, with everyone else in the car doing their best to ignore what just happened. The inhabitants of the city dwell in small cockroach-infested tenement buildings, afraid of their neighbors. Opportunistic politicians and journalists fan the flames of racial division, sparking race riots like the one in Crown Heights last year. But change is coming. Everything feels in flux. Changing for the better, or for the worse. You can rarely tell about these things, but it is clear that things will be very different very soon. This is helped by the weather that has been unpredictable this year, from nights of chilling cold and rain to days of unexpected heat and humidity. Pide and Brian, in spite of all this, life does go on in the Big Apple, much as it ever has. And what would life be worth without some risk? This evening, you are at the off-Broadway theater Mondo in the East Village on 10th Street. The East Village is mostly 6-story apartment buildings with businesses on the ground floor and fire escapes covering the facades. Further from the main roads are taller tenement buildings in the same style. Yellow cabs are driving slowly along the street. The population here is a mix of Puerto Ricans, African Americans, and struggling white artists. Downtown New York in a nutshell. Theater Mondo has 2 floors in the same orange red brick style as the rest of the buildings here. Next to it is a parking garage that was under construction a few years back, but where the funds ran out midway through the project. The place has been taken over by some squatters and junkies, but also serves as a haven for the graffiti community in the East Village, as well as the hip-hop and breakdance scene. Tonight is the opening night for Aeschylus' Agamemnon, one of the classic Greek tragedies of the Odyssea. Highbrow art, to be sure. Theatre Mondo is an experimental theatre that is owned by your friend Elizabeth Barkley. And a crowd has gathered outside the theatre. It's 7:30 in the evening and they've begun letting people in. It's an eclectic mix of artists and people from various subcultures, even the more extreme ones like punks, goths, and even some bikers. 2 wide glass doors open out onto the streets. Along the walls are benches covered with worn velvet, and above them hang posters from the plays of the past few years. The theatre has serious pretensions, and aside from classics like Agamemnon, you can also see posters for the French playwright Jonsson's The Balcony. And at the far end of the foyer are 2 old-fashioned ticket booths. The 2 of you come in and you pass the cloakroom where Marion, a student who works here part-time, accepts the guests' coats. And people are now gathering by the bar, which is dominated by a number of round plastic and steel tables. Can you describe yourselves and, well, how did you get here, actually?
Yeah, I'm a graffiti artist. I work, luckily enough, with painting graffiti. I do a lot of temporary events for an events company that likes to have an artist sort of working during the party, and I've also sort of gained some renown by being hired by a rich guy who wanted his club interior decorated in a graffiti style. So I do a lot of that, and somehow has been able to make a bit of a living out of it. Really happy about that. I got a pet corn snake at home called Erica. I am single. Last relationship ended about a year ago. I like to go out. I like to have a party, to be a bit, have a good time. I also like, smoking a bit of weed and sometimes doing a bit of hallucinogens and stuff. Anything goes, really. I'm in my 20s. I like just having a good time. Sort of a relaxed life, except for the shit that's been happening on the streets as of late. I have had friends that have sort of been mobbed by these gangs, and if it isn't the gangs, it's the cops. There's always some shit going down now. But I got some friends, and I try not to think too much about that. I try to just make the best of life. I look forward to seeing this Greek play at Elizabeth's Theatre. I usually just call her Liz, I guess, but it's really cool that she's doing this stuff. We know each other a bit since I helped out with painting some of the set, and I also hang out a lot in the abandoned parking garage that's sort of associated with the theatre or next to the theatre. And aside from that, I'm a good friend of Brian, our other character, who did a sort of piece of me after I'd done that big club job. I can add that having gotten here tonight, I'd probably just been nearby, because I love coming down to the garage, watching the breakdancers, listening to the music, doing some sketches, sometimes collaborations. But this night, I didn't want to get engaged in, painting something because I didn't want to miss the start of the show. So I've been sitting there for a bit. I had a joint passed around with a few friends while we were watching some of the others, and I'm kind of, having a nice buzz, really, but taking the theater seriously, and I want to appreciate what Liz has produced here tonight.
And you're here with your friend, yes, with Brian.
Brian Cain is a young journalist, 27, lanky build, long blonde hair, green eyes. Looks a little scruffy, to be honest, but that's because when you're going to certain parts of New York these days, you dress down. You look like you're big, you're gonna get the wrong kind of attention. So, I've got a clean shirt and a nice jacket on. It's, not bad, but at the same time, I don't look as if I'm anyone special, really. I have a big camera, though, with me for taking photos, as I am a journalist. I work for Go-Go Life, gossip, celebrity tabloid. It's not the biggest magazine in New York, but it's not the worst magazine either, and it pays the bills. Maybe one day I'd like to do something a little more interesting. I did, after all, move to New York from California in my early 20s to make it big. And it's going okay. I'm not that bothered that I'm not big and famous just yet, but maybe I'd like more than what I have right now. But I'm liked by people. I get invited to all the cool parties. I get to take photos of people, write trashy magazine articles. They're easy. At the end of the day, it doesn't take much skill or brain power to write, "Oh no, this person's having an affair with that person. What does that mean?" But people eat it up. People like that sort of thing. It distracts them from, I suppose, the mundanity of life. And hey, New York at the moment, some places are pretty grim. People need something to take their mind off it, to dream, to feel that it's all not so bad. And I peddle that, and I'm happy to. I know Pide because, well, he's in the scene, I'm in the scene, and it turns out we both enjoy similar things. I enjoy a good party, I enjoy having fun, I'm not an idiot, I know how to play it safe on the streets. You have to, especially coming to New York as a young man. But yeah, I don't let that stop me enjoying my life when I can. I'm a charismatic fellow, perceptive, maybe not the most strong. And yeah, tonight I'm looking forward to coming down to the theatre. I'm not really that bothered about the play. I mean, it sounds boring, if I'm honest with you. Greek tragedy? Like, isn't that, like, ancient? Why can't we have, like, a more modern thing on stage? Like, maybe a cowboy or detective drama. But, it's all cool. Elizabeth is cool. I met her just a few weeks ago, and she is amazing. Attractive, clever, funny, and ambitious. I think I have a chance with her. Well, I've not been single for that long. Did have an ex from about 7 months ago. She was a bit dramatic, didn't quite work out. But yeah, I'm ready for a new relationship. I think she could be the one. Maybe we can help each other out in this city.
And you hear music playing in the background. It's jazz, one of the classics. It's John Coltrane's Aisha, the product of the greatest saxophonist ever, slowly being destroyed by heroin. But is that what you guys normally listen to? What do you like jazz? What do you normally listen to, Pide?
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's kind of whatever brings my inspiration in the moment. It could be anything, but I really like... I'm quite into, like, punk rock as well. I like that scene. I like No Fun at All. And being sort of a bit of a leftist kind of guy myself, I like that, but I like the hip-hop stuff that they're playing in the garage as well. And I really like the funny beats that they do to the breakdancing. You know that the breakdancers play? It's not really hip-hop. They play these kind of... I don't even know what the genre is, but it's always kind of upbeat and fun. So it's a very mood kind of thing. And I mean, jazz doesn't speak that much because there's no one saying anything, but it works, I guess. I mean, I don't really... when I hear it play, I don't even think too much about it.
Mm. What about Brian? What does Brian normally listen to, and does he like jazz?
I don't mind jazz. I don't mind anything, really. Easy listening. Hey, technically I'm an 80s kid. Everything back 5-6 years ago I thought was cool, and still is. New music's good, though. I mean, anything this pop music stuff, I think that's pretty cool. Maybe I don't really have any strong opinions because music doesn't really speak to me. It's there to dance to and make you feel good. Where's the art to that?
So yes, you are there by the bar where all these people have gathered up. Are you guys talking to each other? What are you saying to each other as you're waiting for the play to get started? And you also are waiting for Elizabeth. You haven't seen her yet.
I'm going forward, getting a drink ordered. It comes quickly because I know how to get a drink quickly from people. And as I'm getting one for you, Pide, I'm saying, so here's the thing, when do you think we're going to get episode 1? Episodes 4, 5, and 6, they were great, but, why did he start, why was it episode 6? And I bet it would be really good, though. I love Star Wars.
I think it was something to do with that they were easier to make, I mean, did you read the books and stuff?
There are
Of those
books.
first one? I mean, that's what they're based on, isn't it? I mean, why would you start with a 4 if there isn't a book for the first one?
I don't know. That's an interesting way of looking at it. All I'm saying is, like, I think, maybe not today, but maybe like 2 years from now, like, films are getting bigger by the minute, man. Like, I think you could do justice to it, like, making them even bigger, even better. Maybe, like, we find out Luke's backstory.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, where it came from and stuff. If we know this much that we know now, yeah, I'd love to see that. I saw something on Beavis and Butthead, I think it was the other day, where they were making fun of the Star Wars thing and connecting it with Megadeth's latest album. It was stupid, really. But did you see that?
I didn't actually. I do like those cartoons though. MTV,
Yeah.
man. God,
Yeah, it's great.
I almost wish I was a little younger. I think the kids today, like, they don't know what music television. Like, what a crazy thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't even remember how it used to be spread otherwise, But I'm putting together a real cool mixtape anyway. I'm trying to sort of mix the Star Wars themes with Megadeth. Now I got this idea. I was up all night doing it. It's stupid, but here. Do you want to listen to it?
Sure. And I sort of lean over to what I'm assuming is your Walkman.
Yeah. And I'm letting you have the headphones. And you hear a sort of mix where there's Star Wars in one earphone and there's Megadeth in the other, and is singing, and there is a strange kind of piano tune introducing the Megadeth song, which then goes into a very rapid sort of hard rock song.
I bob my head. I like it. And by this point, I assume the drinks have come. Mine's a vodka coke. I assume yours is a vodka coke as well. If it's not, that's what I've got you.
I take it and I sort of raise the glass and have a sip.
And as I take a sip as well, I do just start looking around for Elizabeth. I want to make sure I see her before we, start the play, I guess.
There she is, actually, Elizabeth. She's tall and slender with curly dark hair and dark eyes. She's dressed in a black, grey, and red dress tonight. With her is Leonard Carsdale, who's a thin man in his 60s with dark hair, soft dark eyes, and a slight limp. He nods to you and proceeds towards the bar to go help out there. He's the caretaker of the theater. You know that he's been with the Barkley family for a long time. He's got a bit of a Texas accent, and you remember hearing something about the theater troupe actually originally coming from Austin. Not that you could really tell. Aside from that, though, Mondo has a distinct New York feel to it. So Elizabeth comes up, smiling, to kiss you both on the cheeks in that fashionable faux European way. Pide and Brian, it's so lovely that you could make it.
Well, how could I miss this, Elizabeth? Big night, plenty of people here, and hey, there might even be a good play, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, this is great, man. Liz, well done. It sounds really cool. I've not seen any of this like really old stuff before.
Well, you will love the take that we've made of it. It's a modern take on the classic, so yeah, I think it's going to be right up your alley. And Brian, her hand still lingers on yours as she's saying this, and she smiles towards you. The memories from last week and the party over in Greenwich Village they're still fresh. We ended up talking all night long over seemingly endless glasses of wine. What was it that you found so exciting to talk about, the two of you? Is there a particular topic that you really went off on?
She just seemed to have a lot of interesting views on life that I agreed with. Like, life, it's for living, not for being afraid. You gotta go and take chances on things. You gotta be willing to take risks. Art, what is art? I honestly didn't have much of an opinion, but she had a massive amount to say about art, and I liked that. I liked asking questions. I'm good at asking questions. It is, most of the time, my job, after all. And what can I say? She's just stunning and funny. Funny. Nah, she is awesome. As I notice her sort of lingering nearby, I just say, so, after the play, like, is there like an after show type thing going on? Maybe we could have a few more glasses of the old red wine, eh? What'd you say?
There's going to be an after party at the Core tonight. You know the Core. It's a club pretty close to here. I look forward to seeing the both of you there, I hope.
Yeah, sure, that sounds great. Have I been to this place before?
You've heard of the Core. You haven't been there before. Neither have you, Brian. But yeah, you've heard of it. It seems to be a pretty fun place to party. Very sort of loose and relaxed. Very diverse clientele who go there. So should be fun.
Excellent. Sounds like a plan, Elizabeth. Sounds like a plan. I'll be there.
Excellent, she says. Well, I'd love to stay and chat, but I have a theater to run after all. I'll see you at the after party, all right? And I really look forward to seeing you there.
As she departs, I just do a quick look around. Anybody famous? Anyone of interest? My hand hovers a little on my camera. I know I'm technically not at work, but in a way, I'm always working.
Of course. So most of the people here in the bar, they seem to know each other actually, and they're sort of chatting away. You kind of feel a little bit lonely almost. It's just the two of you. You can overhear a lot of name dropping of philosophers, Eastern European poets. There's a lot of posing and people wanting to seem way smarter than they are. But that is what New York is all about, so nothing new about that really.
I look him up and down as he's sort of trying to be casual and like looking around for people and getting into his job thing, but it's like you feel like in the air around him that his pulse is kind of raised because Elizabeth was just there. So I just chortle a bit. I like, you jammy bastard, you got something. Jeez, what happened, you guys?
Pide, what can I say, man? What can I say? Few drinks, good talk. She's an attractive woman. I think I'm an attractive guy. Don't you agree?
Yeah, man. Yeah, she's great, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to the party afterwards as well. That sounds great.
Hell
and I
yeah.
see Leonard over there, like a few sort of people heads down, and like, hey, Leonard.
He nods to you and sort of raises a glass that he's cleaning. Very nice man, really, and you know that he's very close with Elizabeth. He's been there for a very, very long time, so they sort of are the ones that are running the show here, really. And she couldn't do it without him. You figure. Brian, you are looking around. You're scoping the place out. You're trying to see who of interest is in here. And Pide, you just made this funny remark to Brian, just as someone bumps into you rather clumsily, really. Young woman, and she trips and falls, sort of having bumped into you. She's significantly smaller than you are. What happens to your drink? Do you spill it, or are you able to save it?
I have really good reflexes, actually. So, seeing that, I start spilling it, but I manage to scoop the glass around, and I lean down to help her up, and I'm not really thinking about it, but my hand has already put the glass on the counter.
Right. So this woman, she's Caucasian, short and slender, and her straggling hair is dyed black, but is fair at the scalp. She's wearing a lot of makeup, and she has one of those faces where she looks like she's about 17, but she must be older. She's dressed in a short black leather skirt, black tights, t-shirt, and a leather jacket, on which something is written. It says, you can see it there, the Sephiroth? Yeah, the Sephiroth is written on the back. There's a stylized tree of life symbol in the background. She looks up to you apologetically, and everything about her is a bit awkward. Sorry, I'm always so clumsy.
Hey, no problemo. What? You okay there?
I'll get you another one, all right? She says.
No. I got half left. I'm gonna enjoy that, and then the show's gonna start. Don't worry about it, okay?
And what is it about her, about this rather sort of clumsy 17-year-old looking woman? What is it about her that you're attracted to?
It's strange, really, because usually I don't really like people who are fake. You know, this sort of dyed hair and the makeup. But it's this sort of honest innocence, and her wanting to buy me a drink back. Something just catches my eye, and I think also when I see that sort of symbol of the tree, there's something there that just sort of, it's really stupid. It's probably not connected to the environmentalist things and movements at all, but it just, I immediately get something of a positive vibe from her, and I feel this, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's okay. You could buy yourself a drink if you no one to, if you're here alone.
She smiles, touches her hair, and I'm Como. I'm a friend of Wolf Steiner, the lighting tech. I think must have met Wolf at some point. Don't really know more than the name, but yeah, he's someone who works here.
Wolf Steiner, yeah, sure. Hi, Como. I'm Pide.
Oh, it's very nice to meet you. She again touches her hair. I'm here with my friends, and she nods to 3 others who are wearing the same kind of jackets. All these 3 look to be Latino.
Okay, and that's kind of cool. I feel a bit disappointed because if she was there alone, maybe she'd be looking for, I don't know, a bit of company and stuff. But I sort of nod over at that group, and I say, okay, cool. Nice matching outfits.
It's the thing to do, right? We ride our motorbikes and we enjoy just seeing the country.
Now you're a biker girl?
Yeah.
You're touring around. What do you mean, seeing the country?
Yeah, we just came from Hartford, Connecticut, and we're really new here in New York. Just hoping to, make some friends. She says and smiles again.
Yeah, well, you find a friend, right? Here I am. Yeah, I'm Pide. I work a bit around here. I made friends with the producer. I mean, the owner of the theater, actually, Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth. Yeah, she seems nice.
You gonna see the play, or?
Yeah. Let me introduce you to my friends as well. Hey, so this is Diego, Lorenzo, and Moon, and the people that she's introducing here. Diego, he's short and sturdy with slightly Native American features mixed in with the Latino, and he's got large dark eyes. His long black hair is worn loose, and he's dressed in black jeans and a white t-shirt underneath the Sephiroth jacket that he's wearing. Moon must be the sister of Diego. She's also short and stocky, and she's got the same big dark eyes and the long hair, dressing in a black skirt of Mexican cut with lace-covered shirt, and is wearing a number of silver trinkets of various kinds. Lorenzo is the one that's a bit different. He's tall and thin, with short hair and narrow black eyes. He's dressed in dirty jeans and has an unbuttoned shirt underneath the jacket. They're all smoking and each have a beer in their hands. Hey, this is Pide, she says now. And how did that happen? She's like holding your arm as she's like introducing you.
I'm just suddenly standing there like a show object. I'm not thinking too much of it. I'm in a kind of good buzz. So I'm like, hey guys, Diego, Lorenzo, Moon, yeah.
Hey.
You
hey,
guys just...
Hey, nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Hey, I sort of...
If this play is any good? I mean, it's not normally our scene, but Como really wanted to go.
Yeah, no. I mean, whatever she does, Elizabeth is it's always kind of cool. She's promised she's gonna make a unique take on it, so it's not gonna be some old, Greek tragedy with moss growing on it, because then it'd be like talking... I'd be like, talk to the hand, but she says it's gonna be good, then it's gonna be good, so...
Yeah, you into theater normally, or... I mean, of course, you must be, right?
Well, I'm not a theater buff, I kind of rarely go myself. We got a really cool place nearby, which is kind of this abandoned garage, where there's a lot of hip-hop music, there's breakdancers, and there's... I work as a graffiti artist, so I got a lot of friends there. We make some pieces.
Wow, that's so cool. Working as a graffiti artist. Not a lot of people can make a living off of that. You must be real good.
I can't. I'm so lucky. What do you guys do besides, you're cruising around the country with your bikes and things?
That's all we do, man. It's total freedom. You should try it.
You serious?
Yeah, that's all we do. We just ride our bikes and we just enjoy the open road and friendship and meeting new people in every city. It's It's amazing.
Man, you guys are jammy too. I was telling my friend over here because he was doing well with Liz, but you guys, you got total freedom. What do you? Where do you get your money from for gas and stuff?
And as you asked this, Brian, you're kind of scoping out the place, and you're very close now. So it's kind of you're asking the question, and right as you're doing that, Brian is like standing right there, kind of in front of everybody. What do you do? Do you like introduce him or?
Yeah, I suppose in a way it was while I was looking, I kind of looked to my left, noticed suddenly Pide was gone. I was like, oh, well, where did he go? And I kind of just wandered over, and I'm like, hey, friends of yours, Pide?
Yeah, man, just as I said, this is Brian, and yeah, sure, I just met these guys. This is, and I say the names as good as I remember.
Exactly. And you're doing that, and in the middle of that, a bell rings to indicate that the show is about to begin. And the Sephiroth, Como and her friends, they sort of nod. Yeah, let's go. Let's get some good seats, huh?
Yeah, I nod. Again, quick introductions were given, and I don't pay these lot much attention. They seem cool, but I have more important things to be doing tonight, so I just go and say, all right, Pide, I'll see if I can get us a good seat. And I go to get myself a good seat somewhere, where I can exit and get to the bar just in case I need to.
Yeah, that's good thinking. Yeah, biker gangs, it's not a biker gang that you've heard about, but there's definitely, some smaller ones. It's not all like the Hells Angels, so they do exist. It's an interesting thing to see them here, but yeah, there's all kinds of subcultures we're hanging out here.
It's it's cool, but it's not my scene, man. Wow, yeah, I could ride around on a motorcycle and have no responsibilities. That's great, except then, who remembers you? What do you do with your life? Like, it's just nothing. Life's about doing stuff, not just like, if I wanted to sit at home all day and just watch TV, and I could, but that's not me. I've got ambition.
Right, you do. So everyone has started to move towards this main theater hall, and then the worn red carpet that leads there is covered with sawdust. The walls are hung with large mirrors set in gilded frames that are overloaded with Baroque ornaments. Flights of stairs leading to the balcony are at the end of the corridor. And inside this theater hall that you then get into, there must be space for maybe about 400 people. Old seats with red upholstery and a floor covered with tiles of faux black marble. The stage is framed by narrow sets with black and grey nuances. White, grey and black veils hang down over the whole stage, and its floor is covered with grey veils with an occasional splash of red. And you find a really good seat very close to the front row, actually. Some really good ones open up there. And Pide, Como makes sure to get the one next to you. You cool with that?
Yeah. I kind of trying to make sure the whole gang sticks together, and we just, wow, look at that. Got the best seats.
And she smiles to you, and yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait for it. The performance begins. It's a modernized version of Agamemnon, set in an indefinable time and place, somewhere in a wealthy neighborhood. The story tells of how a rich businessman returns home after a long absence, accompanied by his secretary and mistress, only to find that his wife has herself taken a lover. The wife and her lover murder the husband and his mistress, and the lover takes the place of the dead husband. The language spoken in the play is part English and part archaic Greek, so there's lots that you can't fully comprehend. Pide, you and Como are whispering to each other like teenagers during all of this. What are you saying to each other?
We're trying to, we make up subtitles for when they do the part Greek, and she's like making up the funniest replacement lines, and I'm almost choking at times because she's so funny. She's just ridiculously funny. This girl, she's like it feels like I'm trying to watch the play, but I'm listening more to her than what they're saying on stage, and then I'm trying to give a few lines back of like what that guy said in there. So I'm kind of not following the plot as much as I should. But I'm starting to feel like really into this girl, so that's kind of filling my head at this moment. And I mentioned to her that we're gonna there's an after party at a club nearby, Club Core, that I've not been to, but they should totally come as well.
Brian, how have you been enjoying the play here? You've been sitting next to one of the Sephiroths, probably Lorenzo, the tall one.
Well, again, I just bored. If I was really paying attention, I'm sure I could work out what was going on, but nah, it's boring. Where's the action? Where's, like, any drama? Like, isn't something supposed to happen at some point? Why is everyone just talking all the time? Talking. But, you know, I'll say it's amazing afterwards to Elizabeth. I kind of wish I could take a snap of something, but something tells me didn't one of the ushers say that that's not on, so I guess I can't do that either. I have a drink, though. I kind of have looked over, though, to Pide. Kind of looking at this girl he's talking to. How old does she look again? Does she look really young?
She looks very young, yeah. She looks like she might be like 17, but there's something about her that tells you, nah, she must be older than that.
Yeah, I was thinking that at first. I suppose that's fine then, you know, like, can't tell sometimes, but yeah, no, she must be older, I guess. Because after all, Pide, how old is Pide?
Yeah, I'm 26.
Well, they seem happy, so good for him, I guess. Maybe he's trying to have some friendly company tonight as well. Oh well, I look at my drink, take another hit, and I kind of, if we're approaching near an interval, I'm definitely going to go and get another one.
Yeah, and you find yourself wishing for the action. You were saying, like, yeah, shouldn't something happen soon? And it is just as you're wishing for that new actors appear on the stage that you haven't seen before. It's a middle-aged woman with red hair and a short man with several days' growth of beard. They're seemingly playing the role of the businessman and his wife. And the wife repeatedly thrusts a dagger into the man's stomach again and again. And Brian, you see how blood very realistically splatters from the man's stomach. Very, very good stagecraft. A little too good. Pide, you've been focusing on speaking to Como, obviously, and all of a sudden in the dark theater here, you see like a dark fluid that splatters onto Como's face. Blood? And you look and you see what's happening on stage, where this woman is stabbing this man. And the lights dim fully, and then are then lit up again. And there's no longer blood on Como's face, and you don't see any on the stage either, Brian. What do you do?
I take a sip of my drink and lean back and go, okay. Mentally, I think, well, that's pretty... Alright, that's a bit more interesting. What is that, some sort of trick paint or something? Huh. Okay, wow.
And Pide, what about you? You saw...
I grab my forehead, I lean back in the seat, and I say, holy shit, quite loud.
And then Como is right there with you. Wow, that was something. Oh, Elizabeth knows her stuff, huh?
That was fucked up, man. That was really fucked up. Makes me think of, you know, shit. And I start quoting a bit of a song by Bikini Kill, one of the Riot Girl feminist punk bands.
And yes, you do that, and this actually is where the performance ends. And all the actors, they come out and they take their bows like they normally do in plays. But those two, the husband and the wife, you don't see them among the actors.
I give it applause. I'm looking like around, sort of like, because I'm so far forward. I kind of look down the aisles on the side of the stage, like expectantly waiting for them to come out as well.
Yeah, they don't. And you see Como, who's just smiling at you. Lorenzo has fallen asleep while Diego looks visibly moved by the performance. Moon just staring into space. And then you see Brian, who, perhaps about to get up now that the play has ended.
Well, I think to myself, okay, cool. I give a big round of applause. I have my drink. And I will indeed start making my way to the bar. I'll be honest, it was an interesting end. Didn't quite make up for the rest of the play being boring, though. But obviously, I'm going to say it was a brilliant, great, awesome thing to Elizabeth. And to be honest, it was a good show, I guess. Not my thing, really, but it was a good show.
Yeah. What do you guys say to each other as you come out?
Shit, man. Did you see that? That was so weird. I mean, I could have sworn I saw, like, blood. And, I was not paying attention. I feel a bit bad for it, but suddenly there was, like, blood, and it was like it was splashing on you, Como.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I saw something like coming flying from the stage. That was why I was looking back at the stage.
Pide, man, come on. It was all special effects. Probably some sort of like water dowser from the ceiling. Makes you think there's something on your face. It's just water. It's 20 seconds.
Maybe some kind of shadow over the lamp or something.
Yeah, it definitely was an interesting end, though. But hey, what do you think of the play itself? Like, cool stuff, right? Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird that why didn't they all just speak English? But I guess, I get the idea that it gives more to the audience to see what was going on. I mean, it's in your mind, right? And I look over to Como because she was kind of subtitling the whole performance.
Mm-hmm. She just nods too, yeah. You keep talking for a little bit, but the big massive people here, they're sort of beginning to move out, and you see that they're not intending to sort of keep the bar open afterwards. So everyone is sort of heading out and going to continue the night elsewhere. And you have an appointment at the core, right? The after party. A lot of people seem to be headed right there. It's over in Alphabet City on Avenue C, so it's very close by.
Is it walking distance?
Totally, yeah.
Well, I guess then I'll head out with the crowd again. Always good at these sort of things to be heading with the crowd. Big crowds of people. Doesn't attract as much attention when you're just by yourself. So I'll make sure I'm with the throng of people, looking out for Elizabeth. And of course, I'll see Pide and say, "All right, Pide, I'll see you there then. You gonna bring your friends? You folks coming?"
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, you want to ride on our bikes? They got their Harleys parked outside.
Oh man, you got like serious gear. Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, we should wait for Elizabeth though. So, I mean, we gotta tell her give her some compliments.
Well,
for that
I mean, I don't mind waiting for Elizabeth while you go for a bike ride with your new friends. Why not? And I kind of give Pide a bit of a wink.
I get you, and I sort of click my finger, and yeah. I'll see you there, and I go over to the bike of Como. Then you wanna give me a ride or what?
Oh, definitely. She smiles at you and shows you up on the back of the bike there, and you take off together with the Sephiroth towards the core in Alphabet City.
You hear me shouting as I roll down the street. Hasta la vista, baby! And I'm sort of in the air, flinging a shotgun as if I was reloading a shotgun in the air.
And I, on his words, actually do a double check, because, it'd be nice to go with Elizabeth. Go with her to the place rather than, meet her there, if possible. Do I see her anywhere? Maybe I don't.
Yeah, so you look around and you see that, she's there, but she seems like extremely busy, There's a lot of stuff that needs to be, done to close the night up. So she nods to you and, hey, see you at the core.
Ah, okay, cool. I'll see you there. And then I'll make my way with the throng of people. I enjoy a good time and all, but motorcycles, a little bit, especially if I've had a drink or two, I don't want to suddenly fall off.
That's right. So, you are at the core now. It's pretty close to where you live, actually. I mean, you live in Alphabet City, so that's good. I mean, if the night ends up ending here, then it'll be nice and easy to get back home. But hey, it rarely does, right? You usually stay out quite late, and there's so much cool stuff going on in New York, and so many interesting places to visit after midnight as well. This club is situated in a loft at the top of an old, decaying house. It's access to a back door and a clanging flight of steel stairs, so it's a very sort of, very unique and like just getting into the club, it feels like you're doing something a little bit forbidden almost. And the club is packed and smoky, and the music is deafening. There's considerably more people here than at the theater. The drinks are free tonight because of this play, because it's the after party for that, and many people are enjoying both the drinks and are openly snorting cocaine and popping mollies, and it's a really wild, raucous party at this club. And you've parked the Harleys have been parked outside the club, Pide, and Como never lets you go. As you get in, she's always by your side, whispering to you and giggling. And she sort of motions to move up with her to dance. Do you do that?
Yeah, I'm getting caught in all this. I love the free drinks, and I might have a few sort of lines myself or something, and just really go with the flow of the night. I'm kind of thinking to myself, that wow, this girl is really, she's really on to me in a way, and in one way it's a bit much. And it would be too much if it wasn't for all the references she keeps saying, and that she is so funny. It's like it makes you kind of it kind of in one way feel like you it's like I said, in one way it feels like she's a bit too much, but then I can't help but laugh at what she's saying.
Yeah, and she holds up her hand, and on it there's some white powder. She nods and invites you to enjoy it together. Do you do that?
I do that, and then I start dancing.
Yeah. So you do that, and she kisses you. And do you allow her to do that?
Yeah. I'll roll with it.
Yeah. Well, you kiss, and you're high on life, alcohol, and cocaine. So it's wild. You rarely feel this alive, but you certainly are tonight. After a while, she pulls you away from the dance floor, and you disappear into one of the toilets. What is it about the sex with her that makes this so memorable?
It's like the whole night just coming together into this one thing, and it feels like I'm not even thinking about what's happening, because it's all one constant flow, the rhythm of this night. And she's like, this force of the night, and it's like she's really strong legs. I notice. I don't know if riding a bike does that, but she's like, it kind of illustrates how she's just got me in this iron grip.
Yes, indeed. And meanwhile, Brian, you have made it to the core, and some time passes, not much, but some time, when Elizabeth finds you, and on the second floor of the club there are some sofas, and you again end up sitting there talking, overlooking the dance floor. It's so loud that you have to speak into each other's ears. There's something about tonight, that excitement from when she touched you before the play. It's still there, and before you know it, you're doing something you haven't done with her before. You're making out passionately. How does that make you feel?
Absolutely great. That's exactly what I was hoping for. It's what I wanted, and it feels really good to, just like, we took it slow. We took it slow, really. We'd met a few times before. We properly went out last week, and that was such a good night, and this is great. And, I've had a few drinks. I'm enjoying the atmosphere, the nightlife. I checked in on Pide once. Seemed like he was having a good night too, and I've left him to it. At the end of the day, he's allowed to have his own fun with friends of his, so I'm not too concerned about him, but this is great.
Yeah, it really is. And then it goes on for a while, and you're having an amazing time, and you're in love and you're alive, and the music is just deafening, and it's an amazing time. Some time passes, and Elizabeth sees some people that are waving to her, and she excuses herself. Sorry, these are some of my financial backers. I need to give them some FaceTime too.
Oh, of course. But hey, when the night comes to the end, like, you've got my number, right? I pull out my big mobile phone, very fancy having a mobile phone, and I go, and maybe want to go back to your place, or hell, even mine. It's closer, but whatever you're comfortable with.
Let's see where the night goes. Huh?
Sure thing.
And she kisses you, and then she moves off to meet with her backers. And Pide, at this point, you're back now, by the bar, and that's close to the dance floor. The Separates are there. Diego and Moon are speaking Spanish, and Lorenzo is downing shots quietly. You see that Moon is crying, and Como, for the first time, actually leaves you to move over to comfort her. You're not exactly sure what's going on. And Brian, you have been left alone in the sofa there, but you see Pide up there by the bar.
Well, I guess I'll head on over, get another drink. What's the time? I kind of take out the phone, which has a clock on it.
Mm-hmm. It's around, it isn't actually that late, it's like 11.
Oh, wow. For some reason, it seemed like the night had gone on much longer than that. That's weird. Okay, never mind. I guess then that means another drink is absolutely fine. And I'll go and be like, hey, Pide, how's it going?
Hey, let's do some shots, man.
Shots? Okay, well, you're buying. I bought them last time.
Yeah, I'm buying.
And as he's doing that, I just sort of observe the bikers and Como, and I'm like, so, having a good time with your friends?
Yeah, and you see me turn around, I got two flaming sambucas.
I down mine.
I blow out the fire, and I down mine as well. Yeah, man, I'm giving you sort of a raise the eyebrow kind of look, and sort of grasping my groin as I'm grimacing, like, that was,
Oh god, I don't know if I want to know.
I'm just saying, man, those legs, it looks like they're kind of, she's done with me now, so, do you want to go dance, man?
Oh, all right, let's go have a dance then. But I can't be away too long. I think Elizabeth. I maybe she's the one.
Yeah, is she here?
She is. Yeah. She's over there, just meeting some people for financial stuff. Like, I think the play went really well for her, by the way. So. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. She's gonna be on such a high after that as well. You gotta Yeah. You can't mess this up, man. Yeah. She's gonna. Oof. You're gonna get it all, tonight.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, let's go have a little dance, and then I'll come back.
And you begin to move to do that when you notice that there's some commotion in the club, like there's something happening. There's some people that are pushing their way through the dance floor, actually sort of heading in your general direction. It's a group of men in dark suits with sunglasses on inside. They're pushing their way through the crowd, and they're led by a tanned man in his middle 40s, receding brown hair that's turning gray. It's kind of a haggard look to him. The 6 big men with him look like they're mob enforcers or like the Secret Service. Again, all in these dark suits and with the glasses. People move over and make room for them, but they're making a beeline directly for you. You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the campaign Fallen Angels for KULT Divinity Lost. Fallen Angels was written by Gunilla Jonsson and Mikael Petersen and originally released in Swedish in 1992. KULT Divinity Lost is published by Helmgast, and the edition of the adventure we have used was released in English by Metropolis Ltd. In 1994. The music was made by Atrium Carceri and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com,
or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient. If you want early access to our content and to hear raw versions of our recordings right after we've done them, or join a campaign of KULT Divinity Lost as a player, please check out our new higher level tiers on Patreon. It's a great way to get more Red Moon role-playing in your life and to help us to keep the show going. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.